We're going to speak about the Department of Sport. Gayton McKenzie's Department of Sport has bailed out SAFA by giving them a 5 million rand advance on the grant that they usually get from the government. This is because SAFA has been struggling to pay player salaries and has been blaming it on partners paying late and all of that type of stuff. So Gayton McKenzie stepped in and said, you know what, I'm going to make money available to give to the athletes so that they can spend Christmas with their families nicely and all of that stuff, which is incredible from Minister McKenzie stepping in like that now. The other part of this is that SAFA has said that obviously they're going to need to pay it back next year, but they've said that they're going to be presenting a sustainability plan that's going to bring in more revenue and all of that stuff. Now, number one, I want to first send a shout out to to Minister McKenzie, saying that Minister McKenzie stepping in and doing this. I think what he has shown is that there's a love that he has, or a love and a respect for sports that he wants to have, that he wants to be in it and he wants to give to sports and he wants to step in as far as possible. I'm glad that we have a minister that maybe is from outside of the system and is stepping in to try and make something different of everything. Very, very happy. I'm also very happy that this is not money that was given from taxpayers in terms of it being something of a gift. It's part of a grant that is already given to SAFA and is being advanced by the government. So I'm glad that, you know, for SAFA, they're not stepping in that way, because I still believe that SAFA, man, there's things that have to be done at SAFA and things that have to be fixed. They have to make sure that they can be profitable and all of those things, and it shouldn't start now when there's problems. It shouldn't start now when things are going wrong. That's what you want. That's when you want to step in. Because when we look at SAFA as a whole, you look at them and you say, but guys, a lot of you have been in SAFA and in footballing structures and in sports structures for the better part of a good 20 years. You guys have been there all through when we were going into the 2000s and doing all the stuff, especially if you look at Abu Dhabi Jordaan. Why is it that in all that time, you haven't been able to craft a plan that makes it that you don't have to worry about monies receivable in order for you to be able to pay these players? How many sponsorship announcements has SAFA made where different barbecue brands and car brands, I don't want to say their names, but a lot has been announced over the past few months of sponsors stepping in. And I've often asked, what are those deals? What do those deals entail? What do those deals have that they're going to bring to our football tangibly that's going to help us out? And it seems as though all of the betting companies and everybody that's working with SAFA, it doesn't seem like that's enough to get SAFA anywhere. You know, when I speak about the love of football and the love of the thing, you know, means that, you know, sometimes you may not make a lot of money up front, but you're making sure that everybody else is looked after. You're making sure that the things that need to grow and be developed are being developed at that moment. And I think what's happening, especially with our football, but across the country really, what's happening, especially in our football, is that we have old crocs who once had that pure love and wanted to do things and wanted to expand our football and make it better and develop players, even if it was to the detriment of themselves. Now they're sitting back and they're going, we've got all of that. Now it's about power, it's about money, it's about what we can control, and the power, man. The king, it's cool dasami, man. When I walk into a place, this tunes sam's teen, instead of being for the good of the thing. Rugby is going through similar problems. They're going through financial problems. And what's happening right now is all of the unions as a unit are scrambling together to try and see what they can do. One of the things that have been put on the table is the Springboks and the ownership of the Springboks. An offer has come in for them to be privatized, for an external company, an American company, to come in and take over the financial side of the Springboks, essentially being in charge of getting the monies and doing all of those type of things in order to keep the Springboks running. Right now, the unions are sitting together, and I believe it was 2 weeks ago, they declined an offer from that American hedge fund, and they said that they can't put the heritage of African rugby, of South African rugby, into American hands with the type of controls that those guys would have. There's certain voting things that are happening. But now they've come together and they're trying to put together some sort of consortium with the guys that are already there. Abo Motsepe, who own teams that side, Abo Rupert, and all of those different owners. They're trying to come together as a union and see how they can increase South African rugby, or make sure that South African rugby is financially sustainable, owing to the fact that these teams are now playing overseas. They're now doing all of these things. Those are people that love the sport that they're building. Those are people that understand that for them to be successful, there's certain things they're going to have to put down that are not going to be long-term good for the rugby, but also the love that part of the argument was we cannot sell out our rugby in order for that to happen. And they're actively looking for things to move forward. What's the commercial plan for iBafana Bafana? Sorry to interrupt the video that I'm sure you're enjoying, but I just wanted to say thank you for all of the support that you guys have shown me and my Overthinking Football platform. I'm a one-man band that's doing all of this, and I really do enjoy the comments about how, you know, Supersport needs to come fetch me and SABC and all of that stuff. And I think it speaks to the quality of the content, but also the amount of effort that I put in. So I just wanted to say thank you. But the truth is that Abo Supersport and all of those guys, yes, we're competing with them, but it's a completely different place. The sponsors are looking for former players, and to be honest with you, running some of these things is getting so difficult, and things have changed at home. So financially, it's a whole different world. So I wanted to try something new and come to the overthinkers, the people who watch the content, and say it would be incredible if you guys could contribute monthly towards the platform, towards keeping my lights on, but also making sure that all of the crazy things that I want to do, that I want to take Supersport on with, I can actually do. And just for 20 Rand every month, I think that would be an incredible contribution if you can make it. It may sound like a little, but if we can get a lot of people behind it, then we'll be able to carry on doing what I do. I'll be able to carry on giving you the content and also expanding it, because we don't have shows like this, and us content creators need help from our audiences. So I just came here to ask you if you can. Here is the account number that you guys can use in order to contribute. And I think, yeah, I'd be very grateful if you would. But anyway, let's get back to the video. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. What's the commercial plan for SAFA? Right now, the rights are with SABC and with Supersport, and they've got all of these things. But what are they doing to try become more successful financially? Are they even moving towards it? I did a video where I spoke about Gayton McKenzie, and I said, Gayton McKenzie, Minister, please don't give them money, because they don't need your money. They need to spend the money that they have properly, and they need to generate. Because a worrying factor in South African football is that we've created a grant culture there, where even in the PSL, you see a lot of teams who are getting by simply by the grant. You're seeing a lot of teams that are getting by off of the goodwill of EPSL and the deal that Irvin khoza signed with Supersport, and the type of distribution they have when they're giving money to everybody equally. Are we not just lazy? Or are we not just comfortable in the fact that somebody's going to come save us, but that we don't have to go and do things ourselves to try and fill out stadiums, to try and sell kits, to try and make our national teams, who are doing incredibly well? Banyana, the current WAFCON champions, had an incredible World Cup run. Bafana, AFCON third place. Incredible AFCON run. They're getting ready to try and qualify for the next one and go through to the World Cup. Well, we've qualified for the next one. They're stars. Ronwen Williams, we'll speak about him in the next segment. Ronwen Williams is winning awards. 9th best goalkeeper in the world. He's just won Interclub Player of the Year, Goalkeeper of the Year at the CAF Awards. We're seeing Mamelodi Sundowns going through to the Club World Cup. How are we leveraging all of those things? A lot of the money in sports doesn't just come to you. You have to do things around it. And I feel like SAFA has been sitting and surviving by the good graces of these teams. I mean, they wanted to take some of the bonuses. They've been surviving off the good grace of these teams, good grace of people like the Department of Sports, good grace of people like the Motsepe Foundation.